What's going on, guys? It's your boy once again, back with another video. This is another World of Warcraft Shadowlands video. Anyone that doesn't know, expansion drops in 3 days. Am I excited? Yes. Have I decided who I'm going to play in main? Kinda, sorta, not really. But this video right here is just gonna kind of just dive into what I think I'm 99.8% sure that I'm going to play, maining going into Shadowlands, and then an alt, because as you know, you have to have an alt. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get to this video, and make sure if you like the video already, listening to my smooth, milky voice, go ahead and hit that like button for your boy. If you haven't subbed to the channel, make sure to do that as well. And let's get to the video. All right, so boom, we're here. Back at it. So I've narrowed down basically what I want to play come Shadowlands. 3 days until the Shadowlands expansion drops. I am excited. I am ready. BFA has been such a drag when it came to the neck, the cloak, Azerite abilities, Azerite pieces, things like that. It's just been, BFA has just been a drag. So Shadowlands comes through, boom, we're ready. Mind you, Shadowlands was supposed to already be out. Of course, we got the delay for a few weeks, which I feel was probably the best move that Blizz could make, and I'm glad they made the move. But you know, for the consumer on our end, that just means more time that we had to either A, find other games to play, B, endure playing BFA, which I did not, or C, cry yourself to sleep every night, which I might have done a few times. But anyways, back on track to the video. So I've narrowed down pretty much my 3 characters that I'm going to play. I've leveled almost everything. I have Druid, Rogue, Mage, and Hunter left to level, but I have time to do that. I'm Alt Master Supreme. But so what I've narrowed my main to be, and anyone that knows me, that watch my stream, make sure we'll leave the link down to that below, knows that warrior is always, it's just me. It just always feels like me. Coop Daddy will never die to me, right? So going into Shadowlands, I feel like I'm going to end up playing my warrior again. I'm gonna tell you guys why. So we got some new abilities and changes, things that have happened, come pre-patch and things like that. So everyone knows, mostly all classes are target capped now when it comes to AoE, which kind of sucks. Whirlwind is capped at 5, Bladestorm's at 8, but Dragon Roar doesn't have a target cap, which is good, but the damage that it produces isn't as high anymore, which is fine because everything is scaled down to 60, things like that. But we ended up getting a few abilities: Spell Reflect, Ignore Pain, Intervene, Shield Block, Shield Slam, Shatter and Throw, Hamstring, and Slam. These abilities I just read off of Wildhead. Make sure if you're looking to figure out what you're going to be playing, go to Wildhead, have a lot of good information for you, or you can check out Icy Veins and MMO Champion as well. So we got a few new abilities that came back for us. Biggest thing too is basically our cooldown, Recklessness, is off of GCD now. So you can go ahead and get up in combat, and then you can go ahead and pop Rec without it triggering a global, which is cool. We got a few nerfs as well, which is, you know, no one ever wants to see that class nerfed, but we kind of deal with it anyway. So Enrage had its haste speed bonus reduced from 25% to 15%. So that's 10% loss in haste bonus, which is okay. I just feel like gear and enchantments can probably make up for that. Bloodthirst healing has been reduced by 2%. Rampage has been buffed. The cost reduced is from 85 down to 80. So that's always good. Rex's duration increased from 10 seconds to 12 seconds, so you can get an extra swing or 2 in with Recklessness up. Rallying Cry, temporary health increased from 15 to 20%. And the biggest thing for me that sold Fury to me, right? Because Fury feels about the same. It's real hit and miss. So if you're used to being comfortable or you've played Fury back in BFA or expansions before, and you're just used to knowing your class going right into an expansion, and Fury is in a good spot right now. But they brought back single-minded Fury. Now, let me talk to y'all for a second, right? So if no one knows what single-minded Fury is, you might have been playing it for a while. So single-minded Fury lets us dual wield one-handers again. Our damage is increased. Now it's 12%. And we get a little movement speed buff, right? Single-minded Fury. So Titan's Grip is the two-handed equivalent for single-minded Fury, which is cool. I've liked both. I like the preference of being able to use one or the other. But the biggest thing here right now for me that sells single-minded Fury to me is that I have Thunder Fury. And you can transmog legendaries. So I'm just like, Thunder Fury is one of the most badass swords in the game. Why not go single-minded Fury and transmog your Thunder Furies if you can, right? So the biggest thing for me, my fingers are crossed, and I've done some testing, that damage between Titan's Grip and single-minded Fury is very, very close, which feels good. Now, the only issue that you can have too with that is weapon drops. So you could be doing a raid, a dungeon, things like that, and you're hoping for a one-handed weapon, but instead, good old Blizz, they give you a two-hander. So what do you do then in that situation? Well, you either gotta try to farm another two-hander, or keep farming the one-hander, and then hopefully you get another one-hander. So it's really hit or miss. The only thing that I can see you benefiting from is if a two-hander drops for you, is that if arms gets buffed, which I hope it does, just because I want all specs of warrior to be viable, that you'd be able to play arms. So that's really that. Everything else you can kind of check on your own. Another new ability I think that's kind of cool is Onslaught. You can only use it if you're enraged, and has a 12-second cooldown. It is affected by haste. So right now, I think the last time I saw my Onslaught, it was on like a 9-second cooldown. Whenever I had my haste stacked as high as it was, it'd be on a 9-second cooldown, which is cool, and it generates 15 rage, so that's cool. You have Seath, generates 2 more rage and 4 more rage when it critically strikes your primary target, and that's for Bloodthirst. So Bloodthirst is basically your builder for Fury. So if you want to go that route, you want to potentially generate more rage, which is going to generate more rampage uses, then that's always a good option too. Other abilities that they're really, the other abilities really aren't that good in my opinion, just me being if you're a warrior for so long, but you can always check a lot of those things out. Everything else is about the same. So that's pretty much where I'm leaning towards right now with Warrior. Warrior feels good. I'm comfortable with it because I've played it so long. A lot of things haven't changed to the point that it doesn't feel like Fury Warrior, but just a few additions that they did add in with single-minded Fury, adding different options and changing up the talent tiers, I think was a pretty big plus. I think the only thing I don't like about Warrior right now is our level 45 tier. Now, you have Dragon's Roar, you have Bladestorm, you have Meat Cleaver. Now, I'm a guy of fantasy. I like the fantasy feel of classes and what they can do. Dragon's Roar is like the option of all options. It generates you rage, generates you 10 rage in Armed and Fury. And then in Pride, it generates you 20 rage, which, I might be tanking some in the future as well. But I don't like the fact that they made Dragon's Roar so good to the point that you probably won't run Bladestorm or try out Meat Cleaver. Now, Meat Cleaver, it deals 30% more damage and now affects your next 4 single target melee attacks instead of the next 2. So anyone that hadn't played Warrior, our AoE basically consists of either Dragon's Roar or stacking your Whirlwind buff. So whenever you Whirlwind in a group of targets, it'll buff your next 2 single target melee attacks to basically cleave to the next 4 adds inside of a mob. So Meat Cleaver would buff your next 4 and then increase the damage of Whirlwind. Now, I like this ability mainly because whenever there's nothing to do as Fury, when Bloodthirst is on cooldown, there's no more Rampage. There's no Rampage up, there's no Raging Blow procs available. You're kind of sitting there trying to figure out what you need to do, right? And what do? You spam Whirlwind. So I like the fact that they gave the option of making Whirlwind better than it is, but at the same time, it's not viable at all over Dragon's Roar. There will never be an instant that you would take Meat Cleaver or even Blade Storm, maybe, unless there's a fight that impairs your movement, over Dragon's Roar. It does 3 times the amount of damage if it crits, and there's no cap on Dragon's Roar. Blade Storm has 8, and then Whirlwind has 5. So that's about the only gripe that I feel like I would have with them right now. But other than that, Warrior feels pretty good for me. So I would advise you check it out. Anyone that's new might want a melee class, go ahead and check it out and see how it goes from there. All right, everyone, that concludes the video. Do appreciate you guys watching. Make sure if you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and a comment below and letting me know what you guys are going to be playing going into Shadowlands. Also, if you haven't, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Helps me out a lot. We're on the road to that 300 subscriber mark. I'm going to definitely be back and posting a lot more videos with gaming and fitness as well. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell just so you know when I post these videos. But I do appreciate you guys once again coming through. And I hope you have a good one. Take it easy. And I'll see you guys in Shadowlands.